Hi guys, it's Lasso again. I'm going to talk about something that came up in social media just 2 or 3 weeks ago with The Bachelorette that was canceled due to the fact that the guy she was with videotaped her as she was going ballistic. A lot of people spoke up in two different ways. One is saying, blaming it all on her. And others were a little more realistic because I guess they've been through the situation that she's been through. Narcissists, I've dated a few. And of course, this happened at my job as well, that I worked at one point in my life, not to be specific. I always was told that I am very passionate, and I'm a nice guy, but it gets to a point, not only for me, but for anyone out there that's being mentally abused by a narcissist. Narcissists turn things around, and they can drive you crazy, but people don't know when you went ballistic on them, what did they do to you? And they're the first ones to do what this guy did, which just take a video, and we got to see the worst side of this lady, the Bachelorette. I question all that because in a private room, a lot of things happen in closed doors. I was verbally abused, not physically, verbally abused by one of my partners. Thank God I was not one to put up with, but every time I wanted to leave, he would cry. So at one point, I made sure that I had to leave. And I remember my sister visiting me in Miami and saying, "I've never seen you look so awful." And literally, I was. I've never been treated so humiliating and so abusive in my entire life. But my mom always said something to me that stayed very, very in my mind and my heart. And this is the honest truth, guys. All you have to do is see how this person treats their parents. And how they treat their parents is the way they're going to be treating you. Don't forget, you're not any different. A person that disrespects their parents will end up disrespecting you. Parents are the most important thing a human being can have in their life. They're not perfect. But when I didn't agree with my mom, I just shut my mouth because I knew better. And even to today, when she was okay mentally, I didn't want to argue with her. I just walked away. And that's what I've always done with relationships. My relationships have never been argumental. I got told, I literally left Miami with nothing after having so much, all my furniture, everything. I even left the car that my grandmother put a down payment for because this person at the time had a Jeep and he was in sales. Something he couldn't be taking out doctors with a Jeep. But I ended up just walking away with nothing. My grandmother ended up driving with me to Houston, and literally had to start all over again. I don't have to go through that experience twice. Now looking back at it, I realize this person is a narcissist. Not too long, I went and visited him. He came to Houston. First thing comes out of his mouth, "Are you still violent?" I have never put a hand on him besides grab him one day by his shirt, because he never showed up. I showed up with a friend without even calling or nothing. This is back in the 80s. Never we had violence, but mentally, he verbally abused the hell out of me. Despite that, I was told by a family member right when I met him, he's great with everybody else outside in the street. But with the family, and I saw it, I still saw it just recently. I don't respond to narcissists any longer. I just look at them and just like, what's wrong with you? Kind of like that attitude. Actually, it was the last people I just blocked because it just brought too many memories that literally killed me. Parents are wonderful, but unfortunately they're connected, and I'm not going to talk bad about their son. Never have. They never asked what happened. They just know his story. But I assure you, they know the type of son they have. I today believe there's two sides to a story. And now at least I know a narcissist when I see them. Life teaches you that at least. I don't have to, never again in my life. Like today, if I met someone and say, let's move or whatever, if my mom is not around, I'll take off because I don't have nothing to lose. I don't have nothing anymore. The only thing I have is my name, and I'm still debating how I'm going to get my integrity back from the previous company that fired me without really no reason. And if they dare to even say a reason, I would love them to take me to court because I'll subpoena every single human being that I know that works in that company. And not everybody's going to lie and put their name under oath in jeopardy. I'm not planning on suing this company. I just walked away. I moved on. But they did the same thing. They drove me crazy, and then they blame me for being irradical. Well, I was not irradical. They just tested me to the top. And that I have proof of. So don't be too quick to judge those people that are caught fighting back, because you don't know how much they have to put up with to get them to that point. And in the previous company I worked at, they did everything possible to drive me to my what they call passion. Because when people are afraid of me, they're afraid because I speak the truth. Nobody wants to hear the truth. They hate it. My employees, when they come and talk about someone, I say, let's not talk about them. And if you got to talk about them, I want them in here. Oh, I don't want her to know. Well, I guess I don't want to hear it either. That's the thing to do. Hear both sides. Because both sides deserve to be heard. In my situation, I wasn't given that choice. Not from a boss that knew me for 20 years. Close to 20 years. A few months away. They just went with the story they told them. Sad, but true. But it's not over until it's over. But that lady in The Bachelorette, I wouldn't be too harsh to condemn her, because there's two sides to the story. And with that, I leave you guys. It's part of wisdom we learn with life. I don't have to be 20 again to go through the same thing. I can tell you, I've run away from guys that only by the way they slam the door, by the way the temper goes up right away, that's a problem for me. And so, in relationships, no. Let's date, and I'm in my place and you're in your place, and I've always had it. So I'm going to let you all there. You have a wonderful day. We'll talk later. Bye.